The MoneroTopia guest segment is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Store, send, receive, and exchange your Monero and Bitcoin safely on iOS and Android too. Cake Wallet is open source, and you always control your own keys.
All right, Spirobel, what's going on, man?
Hey, doing good.
Yeah. It's been a crazy day for me, as usual. Trying to juggle a lot over here, but the show will always go on. MoneroTopia has been pretty consistent. We've had you up here, I think, a couple times, right, Spirobel?
I think I was one time in the guest section of viewers on stage section or something like this.
Why don't you go ahead and give a quick intro for those that aren't aware of you or what you do for the Monero community, things you're working on?
Yeah, I'm coding stuff and I'm also writing like articles on MoneroChan.news. And I recently wrote an article there on scaling, like the topic of scaling in general, because I think that like the recent price increase in Zcash came from like a very concerted effort to push this narrative around this new scaling stuff that they want to try. And I think that it's basically mostly misinformation what they spread. And I wanted to give people like a more basic understanding of like what the real bottlenecks are for scaling, because they make it seem like it's it's something that is limited by state contention. And I just fundamentally disagree with this. And yeah, maybe we can just go through this article a bit. And maybe you guys, did you read the article or did you see it?
I did see it. I haven't had. I did a quick scan of it. Well, let me bring it up. Do you have it? Can you share your screen? Or
I
just tell me?
can't I can't share the screen. Maybe you can just
Yeah,
bring it
hold on.
up
Let
on
me.
your screen. It's easier.
Yeah, let me try to get it. Hold up.
I've never heard of this site, but MoneroChan.news. I'm looking at that now as we speak, actually.
It's the latest article, the bottleneck. It's called the bottleneck.
Wait, what is? Oh, sorry. What is the website? It's MoneroChan.
MoneroChan.news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hold up. Let's get it up on stage. Bam. Okay. So yeah, so you wrote this article basically about the what Zcash is proposing as their scaling solution, right?
Yes. And I mean, it's also more about scaling in general, because I think it's a very fundamental topic that I think everybody should understand. Like in the
Yes.
same way that people understand like the idea that okay, a car has like miles per hour. Like everybody understands this. Like even like you don't need to be an engineer to understand this basic concept. Okay, this thing has a certain speed, and there's no like it's a real like it's a physical reality. Like it's something that you can experience, and that's something that I think everybody can learn about. And I think it should be exciting to think, okay, I can learn about this topic and I can understand that um, there's something called transactions per second, and you can measure this somehow. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a bottleneck to it. Like, I mean, if you think about a car, for example, then you will also have like a bottleneck for how fast this car can go. Like, for example, the engine is maybe important, like how powerful the engine is. If the engine is very shitty, then it won't be able to go very far. And you don't need to understand the engine in detail. You just need to understand some very basic concept, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can have some idea about about this whole topic.
For sure. So why don't you try to paint that picture for people? So what do you see as, and basically, lay out what you laid out here in this article. So you talk about Bitcoin scaling. I think you talk about Ethereum, right?
Yeah, and Solana as well.
Monero, Solana. So what are the different aspects that need to be considered for scaling, and what approach is Monero ultimately taking versus Zcash? Let's just get to the bottom of it, right? Because that's really where
Yeah,
the crux of what people are interested in right now, right? Because so right now Zcash, listen, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this as well, right? Zcash is arguably beating Monero on the, in some ways on the privacy front, right? They don't have network level privacy perhaps as good as ours. They're lacking in some other
I mean,
respects.
even
But
this part is debatable. I think even this
okay.
part is debatable in the sense that they mess up some very basic thing, like with the Sashi wallet, where they pretend like, okay, oh, this is nice, you can pay on other networks, but they all connected to the same T address because the T address doesn't get rotated, so it's all connected to the same thing. So basically, maybe they have very good probably underlying technology, but they mess up the UX so much that everything is connected to this one identifier that is in this case the T address. So, but I don't want
I
to
mean
push
that
back too much on this.
yeah. So my understanding, but that's something that is going to get fixed. That's just like an implementation issue with how
But
they
I mean,
implemented the wallet.
they
I'm just
didn't
saying,
fix
like,
this for one
is it?
year. For 1 year, if think
But
about
on
it,
a,
one
but
year.
it's not a Zcash protocol thing. It's an
Yeah, that's true.
right?
You're right about this. Like, it's
Yeah,
not a protocol thing. On the
yeah.
protocol thing, theoretically, they are good in the sense right now that the privacy pool is big in the sense that okay, you don't have decoys, you have this proof over the whole set of UTXOs. But I mean, Monero also gets this proof very soon with FCMP. So it's like I think this whole argument is also like I also think that it was very insulting and almost like this kind of like demoralization propaganda that is done to say that oh we completely ignore this research that was done, and also they slander us in a way because they say oh this is like drug dealer Nazi tech, but actually it's peer reviewed research. So I'm very unhappy about it, and I was one of the people that was very like set cash curious. Let's put it like this. I was very neutral, but this behavior pissed me off like a lot. I think it's completely unfair the way they paint this, um, but also when it comes to scaling, where they say, "Oh, this will scale to billions, billions," and then you ask, "Okay, what is the TPS? What is?" It's like asking like a car salesman, "Okay, how fast will this car go?" And the car salesman just answers, "This car can go at infinite speed. It's so amazing." And you know what the interesting part is? The interesting part is this: there was already one network that tried this. It's called Mina Protocol. And there's also some connection between Zcash and Mina protocol in the way that the foundation director of this Mina protocol was the foundation, like the CEO of like the boss of the Zcash Foundation before. So they should know about this. They should know that this approach does not scale and will never scale because it's fundamentally flawed. I also recently tweeted about this again because now they're building an L2 for this Mina protocol that is very similar to the scaling approaches that Tachyon will take now. And if you think about this, why do they need an L2 for something that scales to billions? And there's also there's practical data on this where you see, okay, this is the actual TPS number is very low. So the actual miles per hour is very low for this car that they have been praising as, okay, it will be billions. I mean, did you start to realize what's going on here? Like,
So
can you follow what I'm saying?
yeah, I follow what you're saying. So tell me, I mean, you're saying a lot of things though. So let's just talk about the scaling then, right? So
Yeah,
what is it called? Tachyon?
yeah, that's their
So
new thing.
yeah, so what are your criticisms of that? I mean, what versus what they're
My crit-
selling,
yeah.
and what you think it actually is capable of doing.
The problem is they sell this as okay, this is resolving the state contention issue because recently, like in this January, they had a conversation with the Solana people, like the Toli guy and the Mert guy, and Soko was there, and there was the Sean Bowie, or what his name is, from Zcash, and they had this conversation, and I watched this conversation, and they talked about state contention. But the thing is that there's a fundamental difference between these smart contract chains like Solana and Ethereum and privacy-focused projects like Zcash and Monero, because the thing is you can very quickly, basically nanoseconds, so very fast, you can very fast verify the signature of a transaction in these kind of networks. Meanwhile, in like a privacy focused network, like we are in the tens of milliseconds, so that's like an order of magnitude bigger. So you see there's a fundamental difference there, like the bottleneck is a different one. The bottleneck on their end is, okay, the CPU needs to wait for the memory and needs to wait for, because on Solana there's all this bullshit on the layer one, like all these meme coins and all this useless status on layer one. So to verify transactions, they need to retrieve all this data, but then the CPU can very quickly verify, okay, this is a proper transaction. But in Monero and Zcash is the other way around. There it's like, okay, it's basically very quick to retrieve the data, but once you have it, then it takes like 10 milliseconds, something like this, to verify the proof. So you see, they say this because they misunderstood the Solana people and said, oh, we have this genius idea, we have this genius cryptographer to figure this out, and actually they just repeat the same mistake that Mina protocol made. And also that like on a more general level, you could also say it's very similar to the way that the Ethereum scaling failed with the L2s, because like Ethereum also underperformed recently in the market until they changed their scaling roadmap, where they said, okay, we also want to scale the L1 again. And it's also in a way this a similar issue where you have this proof aggregation, where they try to do like this proof aggregation in front of the consensus instead of focusing on speeding up the transaction verification like we do with Monero. I don't know if it's too technical, but yeah.
So full chain membership proofs versus what Zcash
Tachyon, yeah.
Versus, all right. So even versus Tachyon, with Tachyon implemented,
yeah.
Which
FCMP is better.
Which transactions are faster? In terms of
FCMP is better. From my point of view, it's very obvious that FCMP is better than Tachyon, because look, you can read the curve trees paper and you can read the curve forest paper, because like our work, like the FCMP work, is based on what Kaya made there, is based on the curve trees paper.
Right.
And this is the state of the art. It's better than the stuff that the
I'm just trying.
doing.
Okay.
And
I'm
also
trying to
you have to
understand
consider
why it's
like,
better.
On top of this, you also have to say this: what they are doing is not even peer-reviewed research. It's just the brain fart of Sean at the moment. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just we figured this out, but actually, it's not even a paper that got published in a journal or something. So it's just really, I don't know, like when I see this narrative spread by them, I just see it as misinformation and bullshit, basically. Because like, maybe now I can dive into what you just asked. Why is it better? Because batch verification is faster, because that's ultimately the bottleneck, because like you have the nodes and they can verify transaction batches, and that is the bottleneck for what the throughput is of the whole system. And the genius part about the curve trees paper is that it figured out like a way to optimize this batch verification. And you can see curve forest, like the paper that came after that, is building on this. So we have a roadmap to increase even further on that. So the distance between us and Zcash is only widening. Like we are better than them, and it's based on peer-reviewed research.
It'd be nice to see it laid out in a digestible way of comparing Zcash to Monero, transaction sizes, like how heavy a transaction is, with full chain membership proofs versus Zcash, and then once Tachyon is added, and then
That's
how
another
fast
thing.
the transactions are.
Sorry to interject, but that's another thing with the heaviness of the transaction size.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, CPUs are the bottleneck, and not bandwidth.
Really?
And
Because
not
Arctic
yeah.
Mine always made it sound like bandwidth was the ultimate
No, that's not.
bottleneck
That's not.
with running
That's not the
nodes.
case. Like you can take a look at the Reddit thread that I made about this article, and there was somebody that commented the same thing, and then we both went through the math of this, and we just realized, and I convinced this person on Reddit that was before that also thought, okay, it's bandwidth, but after that he also said, okay, I agree, you convinced me. This is actually like CPU is the bottleneck.
Buddy's asking, can he elaborate on why batch verification is so important? Buddy, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up if you're able to jump in, and Buddy could obviously ask more technically oriented questions, and maybe he could also help explain to me what essentially you're trying to say here, because I'm hearing you that you're saying what Monero is doing is better, but I'm not understanding the why, to be honest. But Buddy, are you there? I don't know. He might be in the middle of doing something.
I saw like Body just said that the thing about why batch verification is so important.
Yeah.
It's because that is the bottleneck. That's simply the bottleneck. Because I mean, maybe we could talk about this more concretely. Like if you think about, okay, we have a node in front of us.
What is Tachyon proposing to do exactly though? I'm missing what their solution is.
It's what they are proposing is that they basically say, okay, the issue is state contention, and we basically move everything out of band. So it's very similar to the pitch of Mina protocol. Their pitch was, okay, we make the smallest the smallest blockchain ever. We just roll up all the state, we aggregate all the proofs, and then the blockchain size is only 22 kilobyte, and it always stays like this because it always gets rolled up. But it's optimizing completely for the wrong thing. You can see also my latest tweet I made about the
so you're saying like with we don't have a block size problem. We could we have the nodes will be able to run that. That's fine. It's more of a computational problem when transactions are being sent, right? How much computation is needed to send those transactions?
Yeah.
Correct? Is that
exactly?
Right.
Exactly.
And you're saying Monero arguably has advantages there versus Zcash, and Tachyon doesn't even confront that issue at all.
Yeah, they go down completely the wrong path, because maybe we should really talk about this very concretely. Like if you think you have a node in front of you, like what is the expensive part? Do you think it's the hard drive? Do you think it's the CPU, or do you think it will be the network connection? That is the question.
If I understand correctly, that balance is changing specifically because of FCMP, right? Like the verification time goes up significantly from where we're at currently with ring signatures. That goes up significantly with FCMP, correct? So that what you're saying is that maybe it used to be bandwidth, but it's definitely now CPU.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's absolutely the case. Like because you have to imagine, like you have to prove over all this large set of outputs that you are a member in the set. And the thing is that, again, I can just repeat myself there. It's like what we are building on is the state of the art of the literature. The thing is that Zcash, like they have not even published anything. They just said, oh, we have this genius idea, but they went down completely the wrong path, and then they shilled the stuff to the moon. But nobody even asked them what the fucking TPS is. It's so funny. Like they don't have benchmarks, they have nothing. And even like when Vlad, I looked at the interview with Vlad and like this annoying guy. Like he talked for 3 hours, for 3 fucking hours. He talked with Sean, and they said, "Oh, what a Superman! Like there's some Superman backstory, like this completely cringe behavior." And he not even once in these 3 hours asked him, okay, what is the TPS going to be? It's like he's trying to sell a car, and he didn't ask how far is this thing going to go, like in 3 hours. It's just like I don't know. Yeah.
What kind of
You guys
TPS can
talk.
we hope for from FCMP? I know it's a little bit variable because it depends on how the batching works out. But what kind of TPS could we expect?
I mean, the thing is, if you look at like what we are doing, like it, you can take a look at the benchmarks that are right now published. Because you can look at the fee market proposal GitHub. There you have the benchmarks for how much one for how much one transaction takes to verify. And based on this, the fees are deduced. And it's like and you can see that in the paper, it's like it goes down even further. And Kaya also talked about this, and he said like one transaction is like 10 milliseconds. And then you can just do the math backwards from there and think about, okay, how many can we expect like one node to realistically deal with? And I would say right now, like you can do maybe like I recently ran like the FCMP verify benchmark on my computer here, and I got like you run like 100. I got like 100 transaction in 86 milliseconds, and I'm not even sure if that's even like the most optimized way yet. So you see, like if we would say one node has 10 cores, we would already get into this range of like 1,000 TPS or something. Like you see, this is like the thing, like the expensive part, but it would maybe be too much. Where you say like, okay, one core, like one CPU with 10 cores is maybe too expensive. But you see, like people expect, okay, the expensive part will be the hard drive, but I mean, you can get like 10 terabytes for $100. So actually, the expensive part of the node, like when you think about the node, which node do we have in front of us? It will be, yeah.
Okay, so I have a question. So your average node, if I go to Walmart right now and I pick up a computer for say 0.2 Monero that has like an AMD, your typical consumer AMD processor and hard drive, what kind of TPS could I expect to get out of that? A couple hundred, 1,000? What kind of number?
Bro, where are you getting this $60 computer at Walmart from?
I said 0.2 Monero.
Yeah, that's like $60 or sorry, $70 right now.
2 Monero, my bad. My bad.
There you go.
I mean, you can think about you can say, okay, roughly like 100 TPS per core.
Okay, so my computer has 16. I think it's virtual cores, so I think it would have 8 physical cores. So would it be physical or the?
Yeah, so maybe like 800. But I think actually, I think we should probably, because we are not even in the stage, and there's so many ways to optimize the stuff. Like there's so many ideas around, okay, how do you make the experience better? Because like if you guys maybe like how many of you have used Solana before? Like you can just try this out and like how it feels. It feels very similar to using like some kind of centralized exchange or something. And this kind of feeling that, okay, this can be instant, it can feel very fast. So there are so many ways. It's basically an engineering problem to make it better. And it's not really about this weird proof aggregation stuff. And I'm not a Solana fan, by the way. You can read the article. I say not good things about Solana there.
One thing I would pile on is that Antoli or Anton, I don't remember his name. I might have blocked him by now. That guy was just straight up lying about stuff. Like he was definitely like, he definitely has some high level of lingo. I don't know how much he actually understands about the cryptography at a base level, but he understands the lingo enough to make it sound like he knows what he's talking about. But then I was listening to him like say basic stuff about the network that any of us would know. Like if you studied a little bit, you would know. And he was just lying. Like he was just straight up lying. And so I was like, okay, I got it. This guy's shtick is just to get out there.
I mean, many people like for example, Toli has like a background in poker. Like they all like these VC people also have background in poker. Like they will obviously trade against you. Like they will sell you some bullshit and then trade against you. That's what I saw in this community, and I don't think it's cool. Also, when you look at this whole like proof of history thing that he came up with, it was also completely like it's just nonsense, and they migrated away from it now. So shows that it was not the holy grail that it was promised as.
Hey,
I think
that research paper
yeah.
you mentioned earlier, can you share that? Could you put that in the comments? Like just
You mean like the
if,
curve trees, or what do you mean?
yeah, the curve trees paper, because you're saying
I
that's kind of like the foundation of what Zcash used, but then they developed
no
on top of that, but they didn't publish
no
their.
no. We are based on curve trees. They are based on Tachyon, or they are based on ORCAD, and they are now trying this Tachyon thing, which is only right now only a few blog posts by Sean. Like there's no benchmarks or anything. But there's also a paper that compares curve trees versus ORCAD. Like that compares the different
Could you
speeds.
do you have those links handy? Could you share them?
Yeah, I can do this.
Spirobel, what do you think of discussion of Zcash potentially moving to proof of stake? Isn't that being discussed?
Yeah, this is also the thing. There's like a civil war going on between basically, like if you look at Suko is doing like together with this other guy, this Jason McGee. Suko and Jason McGee run this Shielded Labs company, and they do Crosslink, which is like some research into finality layer proof of stake stuff, and they are basically getting deprioritized now by Tachyon, because like Mert like went out and started chilling this Tachyon thing together with Sean, and then he started to like you can really feel how they battle each other. Like you can see, like I can maybe share this link also, where they start to frame this as, and you can really feel like there's some power play going on. Like they basically invaded this ecosystem, and now basically sideline people like Suko and this Jason McGee guy, because like now their thing is deprioritized because they built all this hype and narrative around this Tachyon scaling thing. And just maybe to circle back for this for a second, I think we should go towards thinking more rationally about this. Think more about, okay, we have a node there. How many TPS can we do per core? Like this kind of thinking is what we need, and not this kind of, oh, there's this massive scaling ideas that don't work in practice. And yeah, that was the part about
Interesting. So you're
Crosslink and
saying this Tachyon thing kind of came out of nowhere, and it's being pushed
in my view, this started when I first saw.
Like Zuko isn't behind it. He's not.
Yeah, Zuko is not behind it. It's Sean.
Really?
And like you can look at the conversation between Toli, Mert, Zuko, and Sean, where they talk about the scaling stuff. This was in January of this year, and this is where this Tachyon thing came from. And the thing is, it's a very big change to the network. It's so fundamental. It's not even possible to just with the blockchain state and the seed phrase alone recover the funds, because it moves everything out of band.
For the nerds in the audience, can you go into a bit more detail? Like, what exactly is Tachyon and why is it so dubious? Like, what are the more specific mechanisms there?
It's because, like, I mean, first of all, it's just blog posts at the moment. There's no benchmarks, and the thing is that it leads to a lot of centralization in a way, because it moves the proof generations to this oblivious thinking service. This is what they call it. because you need to basically continuously, like with this kind of system, you need to continuously prove that you don't have already spent a node. So there's some server with very good hardware needs to always aggregate this proof, and that leads to lots of centralization. It's very similar to this Mina thing, because they also build like this L2 now, where because when you want to deploy a smart contract on this Mina protocol thing, then you need to run your own infrastructure to do this proof aggregation. And it's very similar. Like if you look at the article, at the middle of the article, you can see this toll booth and highway comparison. And basically what they're doing is, okay, they put like another toll booth in front of the system and create this kind of, just think of this as like the point where the proofs get aggregated. And I just think this is very questionable. And there's also like if you look at the Tachyon thread on the Zcash forum, you can see there's the Y-Wallet author is also asking like, okay, is concerned about this concept. Okay, is the user now responsible for keeping up with the transactions, like saving all the transactions, because otherwise you may not be able to recover your funds if you don't have the transactions anymore. It's like it's very dubious at the moment.
So you're saying if this service or server or whatever freezes, then the blockchain is toast, like no one can recover their funds?
I mean, in practice, probably yes, because I mean, the thing is, if you stop running the infra, then I mean, theoretically, you can, as a user, you can still recover, but it would be lots of effort, you know. Like if you look at the Mina protocol, like I tweeted about this, like about this L2 thing, and like they have a short video where they explain what's going on. It's like 2 minutes or something. And they said, oh yeah, the people complained that you have to run all this info if you just want to deploy the smart contract. And they also looked a bit into like how to do these smart contracts on this Mina thing. And it's basically you need to be very careful to reduce the state, otherwise the throughput suffers. You know, there's no free lunch anywhere. So, and it's like, it's unlikely that a user would be able to come up with like this infrastructure to do this proving when they're used to being able to just use their phone. So it sounds very much like centralization to me. I don't know what you guys think.
So it is doable, but it's just that it's so hard to do that most people will never go about actually doing it or have the resources to do it. That's not great at all.
I mean, it's also similar to like because there was the base, like when AWS went down, and then base, like base, like this
the Ethereum layer 2.
Yeah, this thing went down, and somebody paid like $70, and usually like when you use base, then you get the fees back. You know, there's some like so that is very cheap to use. But the thing is that you have like this forced inclusion on the L1, and somebody tried it and paid like a huge amount of fees. So it's a similar situation there. That's also why I talk about it in this way, that okay, the L2 scaling roadmap of Ethereum is a similar failure of trying to aggregate stuff in front of the consensus. And it's just like, okay, how does this look like in practice? And it's basically balkanizing the network into these different subsections where the liquidity is stuck, and this game has been played already, you know, like they tried it so many times in so many different ways, but crypto just like they just fill it in a new, slightly different way. And
Spirobel, what do you think Monero should be focused on right now to stay ahead of Zcash to continue to win? What should the Monero community be doing? What should Monero developers be doing?
I think just keep the energy high and try to like, I mean, for us, it's just like an engineering problem to optimize this and make the user experience better. And I think people that are maybe not as technical, what they can do is just inform people in Zcash about this and tweet at them and say, okay, I don't like the CIA, guys. I really don't like the CIA because I mean, there's another deeper layer to this as well. Because the thing is that this Mert guy, like he invested in something called Arcium, which they plan to be like the privacy solution for Solana. And the interesting thing is that they have direct investment from In-Q-Tel. And In-Q-Tel, if you don't know about this, you look it up. It's like the CIA venture funding arm. And I think personally that normalizing this kind of bullshit is extremely toxic to privacy technology because it damages the trust in this technology. If you have the CIA directly on the cap table of these companies.
Hang on. Let me make sure I heard that correct. I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me make sure that I heard that correctly. Who's In-Q-Tel is currently funding who exactly?
In-Q-Tel, like you can take a look at my Twitter account. I posted in detail the proof for this. It's very obvious like what's going on here. Like this Mert guy invested in this company that is directly co-invested with In-Q-Tel, and they try to use Suko as like a way to gain credibility for this bullshit. And I mean, you can just look at my tweets. You can look at all the details. Yes, all of this is public information. It's not some conspiracy bullshit. It's very, very obvious what's going on here. And
so the new faction, the Tachyon guys are effectively investors and funded by In-Q-Tel.
Let's put it like this: they have no problem co-investing together with In-Q-Tel, and this should tell you everything. Like, I mean, if you see Arcium has invested in this Infa company, and Infa tweeted about, oh, we have this partnership with In-Q-Tel. Like, imagine how fucking crazy it is to do it like this openly. It's not even like some secret deal or something. No, this is completely in the open.
So you're saying that the guys, to repeat, the guys that are basically spearheading the Tachyon thing have also accepted money from this company that is very clearly
look at the reply of this tweet. Look at the reply of this tweet. I put in the proof, like it's in the second, because I don't pay for this Twitter shit, so I can only post a certain amount of like the first reply of this tweet. Like scroll down there. You see proof of the info connection of In-Q-Tel. Go back. There's like the No, it's in the like the you have to switch back. No,
Matt Henderson.
No, this Matt Henderson guy is probably an AI bot. I have some DMs with him. Like, if you go here, the second, proof for. No, you clicked again on the quote tweeted thing. It is the first reply. You see proof for info. Yeah, if you click on this link, you see like the first thing. Click on the first thing, info.io, and there you see we are thrilled to announce strategic partnership with In-Q-Tel. You see this?
Yeah.
It's very obvious. It's not like I'm not making this up. It's very obvious, And then you can go back. You can also Google more about this. Like they got investment from In-Q-Tel.
I mean,
and now
what
click
is
on
that?
Click on the second thing. Click on the second thing. You see there's the proof for the Arcium connection to Infa. So this Arcium guy goes on some kind of fake CNN type of thing where he explains how amazing this Infa thing is that they just bought. That is also using TEs, like trusted and execution environments, but maybe it's a separate topic we can talk another time about. But the thing is, we have very clear evidence that there's a connection between Arcium and In-Q-Tel, and at the same time, this Mert guy is an investor in this company. They plan to push this as the Solana privacy layer. And now this guy says, oh, Suko is the best Zcash all the way. and they are taking over the ecosystem with this Tachyon push and pushing out Zuko and the Shielded Labs people. And
What is
this
his
what's
role?
going on
What
here.
is his role in Tachyon? What is his role?
His role is basically the hype man. Like he's just posting, oh, we're hiring people and for this amazing Manhattan project, and and by the way, you know this crosslink thing from Suko is deprioritized because this project is more important. Because you know both of these things are very big changes to Zcash. Like on the one hand, you have Tachyon, and on the other hand, you have crosslink. And you cannot do like on a software project, you cannot do big changes like this both at the same time, because they will like you cannot have like branches that diverge so much, you know, and have them progress at the same time, you know.
Now let me
So
kind of be devil's advocate here too. You know, like so what? There's a connection. I mean, you know, he's some tech guy with skills that once did work with the CIA. Does that mean, you know, people contribute to, for all we know, the CIA is contributing to Monero, right? Like, you know, being devil's advocate here, like that's,
yeah,
does that
but I think
like,
there's a difference here, because if you have the CIA on the cap table, if you accept direct investment, it's a different thing
well, how would
than.
they invest? How are they investing? You think, like into? So you think they're like part of the founders of Zcash type
I
deal?
mean, you can know that I don't think any kind of deep conspiracy. I'm just quoting public information about Infer, the company that Archeon bought, that has
Okay.
an Incontel connection, that is publicly documented, that they publish themselves on their Twitter.
Okay.
And that's the one thing. And the other thing is that there's the direct connection between Infer and Archeon, that they invested in this company, they bought this company. So this is very obvious. All of this is very public information.
Do you want me to play this? You want to play this video?
I mean, you guys can look at this in more detail. Maybe I mean, he's also getting late. It's already 12 o'clock. But I mean, the thing is that I'm not making up some big conspiracy. I'm just saying, okay, we have a guy here from the Solana camp that needs credibility as like a privacy guy, you know, and he goes to Suko and says, "Oh, Suko is the best. We become best friends now." And they go to Dubai. They do this big party there together. They hold this big speech as Tuken 2049 to announce this Tachyon thing. And now he starts to do this power play where he says, "Okay, Tachyon, this is so amazing. We will deprioritize the other project." You know.
Why were they even in Dubai? That made no sense to me.
Yeah.
That's when the Zcash stuff, the pump began, right? We had these corny videos coming out of Dubai where Monero is illegal, and I suppose Zcash is illegal too.
Yeah.
So like it made no. That was bizarre to me. These super corny like crafted videos that were coming out with like Zuko and like Cybertrucks
and weird.
And yeah. And it was coming out of Dubai where Zcash is illegal.
I was neutral about Zcash until then. I was very neutral. But when I saw this, I thought, okay, something's going on here. This is absolutely not cool. And I mean, also
I mean, they're pumping their coin. You know, they're trying to promote their coin, right? It's like in their mind, it's like, all right, we finished doing all the technical improvements. Now let's market it. It's obviously has worked, right? The pump
for me, this looks
worked.
like. For me, this looks very much like, okay, Suko is like this kind of naive guy that is basically being used by these people to gain credibility for their bullshit. That's what it looks like to me. And if he doesn't speak out against it, I have a problem with this, because I mean, he follows the guy on Twitter. He's like, he's cool with this person that accepts direct money from the CIA, and I don't think that's okay. I think this is like damaging to privacy technology, to civil society. It's like, and that's why I like Monero, because we have this inkling here of like a society that is free from these kind of spooks that are spooking around, you know. And they have no problem. They have no problem to to mingle with these people in Washington and whatnot. And I think they maybe did a little bit too much mingling. And I want to see Soko now denounce this guy and say, I think this is shit what they do, and they shouldn't. And in-hotel investment is not something that should be tolerated. This
It's not
is
easy
like
to do
over the
that when
line.
you're so. It's not easy to do that when you're so heavily corporately sponsored. Like Zcash was 100% a big corporately sponsored chain. They can't go against their corporate overlord.
The thing is, I would even go as far as to say, like, I make a difference between like some government grant, even though I think it's bad and it shouldn't. For project also accepted government funding, but a research grant is a different from, okay, we take money from this organization and put them on our cap table and give them direct control of our company. And at the same time, what's even more funny is push TEs, like, which is a technology that is the most anti-freedom thing that you can imagine. Like this stuff is crazy. And it was recently broken. It was proven that it's complete snake oil. It's bullshit. It's just like some fake privacy stuff that is used as, this is privacy 2.0. This is the new privacy to join us, But actually, it's broken, and it's
in other words, this is privacy.
That leads to the same situation
okay.
where something is sold as privacy that is not actual privacy. It just it puts up this very thin veneer, and in reality, it's just completely transparent and giving your data to the CIA, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what data are they getting? You're saying with Tachyon, like, so what do they get? What data are they obtaining?
No. The thing is, they don't obtain like the thing is Tachyon. And all this Zcash cryptography technology is used as a way to promote their stuff, because they can make an association there. We're cool with the Soko guy, and we build this cool privacy stuff that is actually okay. This is based on math. That's okay. But what they now push is say, this is privacy 2.0. It's based on these trusted execution environments that are basically a small part inside etched into the silicon. And it's something that supposedly nobody can control, but I mean, there's a private key etched into the stuff. And it was also recently proven that this is completely broken, this kind of concept of saying, okay, we have this kind of secure zone where everything is private inside this chip. And
okay, sorry, go ahead.
I don't know how TE pilled are you guys? Like, how do you know about the stuff? Or
you have to teach us. We're looking for you to teach us, man. Yeah, you tell us.
I mean, honestly, I think there's probably I should recommend someone else to do this, because there's a very, very good video on this. It's on this topic, and it's about like it's like a speech from 10 years ago even, because it goes for a very long time. This theme of trying to basically control computation, like they want to basically, Android now tries to not let you install apps on your own phone. Apple does this as well, and it goes further than this. Like they also try to build parts into the chip that you cannot control.
Okay, so
as a user, like as a person who bought the thing, and that's this concept of trusted execution environments. But it's
so Spirobel, let me see if I understand this, because you're very great here, but it seems to be very technical. So let me see if I understand this as a non-technical person. Solana wants a privacy layer 2, I'm guessing. And so this person that wants a Solana privacy layer 2 is pairing up with Zcash to try to get the credibility of Zcash and Zuko. And these people are funded by the CIA. Therefore, by them partnering with Zcash, Zcash is being indirectly funded by the CIA. And
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Zcash is funded by the CIA. I'm saying that they are getting infiltrated by people and getting used to gain credibility for a piece of technology.
Gotcha.
That is being presented as like privacy 2.0, like something supposedly better than what we already have, but it's actually worse. It's way worse.
And which piece of technology is that?
It's called trusted execution. Look it up. TE.
The trusted execution environments. They're like little isolated. They're like little isolated bits in your like Intel or AMD processors that are supposedly black boxes, but have been broken in the past. I've heard of these.
Yeah.
Right. And so the Monero community was even debating using them recently, right? For some aspect, right? I guess when we were talking.
You can also talk to Art. You can also talk to Arcmine about this. Like he's also very against TE. It's
okay.
Very anti-freedom.
No, but how does the T stuff relate to? But that has nothing to do with Zcash. It just has to do with
it has nothing to do with Zcash.
Yeah. Okay. So, but is there some theory there that these guys are trying to basically embed something into Zcash where you're saying it becomes...
No, I don't think this.
Yeah,
I don't think this.
Right. Okay. And
they just try to use them for credibility. That's the play.
Right. Okay.
Because they have this vision of, okay, we say that Zcash is this amazing store value, which is like the dumbest thing you ever heard. But I think Monero is a good store value. Better than this. It's more decentralized. It's more community driven. But anyway, like I think the thing is that encrypted Bitcoin, that's what they think. And the thing is that they basically, their vision is, okay, we push this thing now, we push Zcash now, we gain the credibility, and then we push this privacy 2.0 thing for Solana and say, privacy 2.0 is better than 1.0, right? Just use this thing. Don't worry, they trust the TE.
How do you see the private digital cash wars playing out with Monero versus Zcash? How do you see things ultimately playing out?
I think their thing is going to fail completely because we are aware of this right now, and I think the market will become aware of this as well. What's going on here, and not just this crazy CIA stuff. That's just the icing on the cake. That's just the icing on the cake. Even the basic scaling promises were bullshit, and that will become apparent. And then you have the big ego people from Solana, and also a little bit big ego from Soko, and then there will be some drama. Pretty sure.
So the scaling issues, this potential, this basically co-opting via the implementation of Tachyon. What else do you see as the major, criticisms or things that will come out?
I think we should just forget about stuff completely, because I think also with the Zcash, the Sashi wallet cross swap thing, like this is the most outrageous thing. Like you can also look up the topic of this was like, there's a topic about this thing on the Zcash forum, and they talked about it since January as well, like beginning of the year, that all of the swaps are linked to the same T address because the T address is never rotated. So it's basically like using Bitcoin. It's basically using a transparent chain. That you have to think about how fucking crazy it is to make this such an obvious mistake and then go, oh, look at this amazing technology. Everybody can just use this as a privacy condom and pay on Solana and pay on. This is so, I think it's, I'm not saying that there's some conspiracy and they did this on purpose, but actually maybe, it's just, I don't know, like you would think they would be a bit more sophisticated,
Let me bring up some of these XMR chats so I don't miss them. Neil has tipped 42 cents. Maybe the reason we don't know if the CIA funds Zcash devs or not is probably because they pay them in Monero. LOL. maybe. You got a shout out. Kev tipped $1.37. Hello, Spirobel. And then Nihilist also very generously tipped $4.22. I wrote about it recently on the OPSEC Bible. Problem is literally anyone could be a Fed. Either they tell you they are, or you have to look at what the guy does to know he's one. Or the guy literally does all to gain your trust. Zcash is full of red flags.
Yeah,
right.
That's so true.
Monero could be open to those issues as well, potentially. Obviously, we're not.
But I think that
we're more grassroots.
You know what?
We're more, yeah. Go
I
ahead.
think we are immunized against this kind of bullshit. I think like the community is so like we have this kind of anarchist mindset, and I think
Yeah.
we should focus more on ourselves because I think we should sometimes just say, okay, I hate the CIA on Twitter and just say, okay, CK, just fuck off with your bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we should focus on ourselves and we should focus on like what our vision of the future is and on our technology. And yeah,
That might be a
Any
good segue into. I'm curious. What are you working on lately? What kind of project, Spirobel, are you working on lately?
Spirobel, are you there?
yo, I'm still there. I'm still there. Just focus on our own vision and on building the community, like creating the energy and not getting drawn into this bullshit because it's going to fail anyway.
Any chance we see you at MoneroTopia?
Yeah, maybe. Why not?
Oh, that'd be
I
awesome.
didn't make
man.
plans yet.
Okay. Maybe we get you on a panel or something. Maybe or even running a panel if we could do some kind of debate between the various technologies, depending on who we have there. I would like to. I was talking to somebody recently. I won't announce yet, but well, I guess I could say so. So the guy who recently pitched Greece. I don't know. What do you think of Greece, Spirobel?
I don't know. Like I honestly don't think much about this kind of stuff. I think
Okay.
we can scale the L1 so much that it probably doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because we just need to think about it more carefully and it's just an engineering problem to make it a better experience.
Hey, am I mistaken, or were you working on some JavaScript libraries for Monero? Like, I remember at some point.
TypeScript. Yeah.
TypeScript, yeah. Okay, so you are working on TypeScript libraries. Is that with like
Yes.
kind of a goal of helping to facilitate like web app wallets, or maybe not web app, but like
in general,
plugin.
make it more accessible and more safe, like the whole, and also more modular. Because right now, for example, the idea that okay, you need to sync first, like you need to sync your wallet before you can build a transaction. Like there's so many details like that are basically just accidental implementation details of Wallet 2 and like Wallet 2.c++, like the thing that is currently below a lot of wallets. And to basically make this whole thing more modular means that it can create a better user experience and can also become more safe because you can use like one piece of one WebAssembly container to do the syncing, and then you have your view key in there, and then you have another WASM container where you do the transaction signing with the spend key, and so there's more compartmentalization in there. So this is the kind of stuff I'm working on.
It's one of the big things that I feel like is really important. Like for example, Solana, MetaMask, Phantom, right? They've got like you just install the plugin or the on Firefox or Chrome or whatever, and then you suddenly you've got just immediate rapid access to spending your funds on whatever website. You can integrate that into all kinds of stuff. And I feel like Monero doesn't have that, so like it's hard. It's like it's not that hard, but there are a couple extra steps, and it does cause friction.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm working on. Like I'm basically building this kind of Web3.js. Like I mean, this sounds shitty, but there was like when MetaMask became popular, it was not just MetaMask; it was also this library on the other side. So you could basically decouple the need to make a new wallet app for everything from making some kind of innovation like Uniswap or like these kind of things. And that's what I'm trying to basically facilitate in Monero so that we can have these kind of apps where you can connect your wallet and um, and it's easier for developers to try new things and build out the stuff. Because right now, for like if you want to use MoneroTopia or you want to use some other swapping thing, you always need to install like a new app. And what if you just have like You just need to connect wallet, and then you can try something new without installing things.
Yeah,
So
that's brilliant.
it will accelerate the innovation. And also, I think there's a lot of stuff to be done around like how to do this privately, because Ethereum really messed this up, I think, in many ways, because they inject this JavaScript thing in every page, so your privacy is harmed. And I'm trying to engineer it in a way that makes it so there's no information shared, and makes it so that not every website can see all your funds, or even know that you have this kind of thing. Yeah.
Do I know it's maybe slightly a fool's errand, but like what's the state of that library development, and how much longer do you think until you would declare it like a beta ready or ready to
I
actually start
mean,
testing?
right now it can already sync stuff, but I mean, it's still like a little bit bare bones in the sense that um, the wallet API is not like Wallet 2, where you have like this black box and you basically it handles everything for you. It's more like, okay, you need to stitch this together yourself, but it also has the benefit that it's more flexible. So right now you can also already use it for syncing and finding outputs on the chain. And I'm like, today I was working on implementing the decoy selection stuff, and building a transaction basically. And yeah, so this stuff will be done soon. I mean, I'm just working on it. I don't really think about like a time frame. I'm just working on the stuff that is in front of me. So
So someone
very
like me
soon.
who's like
Not
low
yeah.
level JavaScript, like I've got reasonably good architectural thinking, but I'm not I'm not good in the language itself. But like, will I be able to grab those libraries and just start like slapping stuff together and like, implementing my own wallet, like hypothetically just playing around, in JavaScript?
Yes,
Right on.
yes. I will also publish more guides on this and more like tutorials, like this kind of stuff, and documentation. So it should be possible. And I mean, we can also talk, like if you have any issue, I can just walk you through it. And yeah,
That's a game changer, man. I don't think people understand how important that is, but like just the simplicity of getting on to your browser, installing some, browser app, right? Some wallet, and then just going to town, and like the ability of developers and service providers to just be like, yeah, let me grab this JavaScript library, integrate it into my website. Like that's massive. That is a huge, huge thing. And we've really like, I underestimated. I didn't understand how important that was until I really started understanding the Solana ecosystem. But then you play with Phantom Wallet. I've been using MetaMask since forever, but you see this stuff and you're like, yeah, click button, connect, spend funds. Holy shit. And it's like, okay, that's part of the reason that we don't have some extra components of adoption that we could otherwise have. So it's huge work, man. Thank you for doing all that.
Very cool.
and I mean, I should say there was also Woods' work. He made another TypeScript library before, but the thing is, it's based around Wallet 2. So I think there's a lot to be gained from making it more modular. But I mean, obviously, there were other pioneers as well. So it's not, I don't want to take much credit for this. So yeah.
Spirobel, would be interested to get your feedback. We're considering adding essentially like a web wallet to XMR Bazaar as an option. Right now people just use their wallets outside of XMR Bazaar, right? But integrating a web wallet option so people can hold Monero. And they would still be, everything would happen in the browser, similar to the way we've done with the multisig. Just curious, and obviously the features that would come with that is it'd be easier to seamlessly send tips on the forum. It'd be easier to send transactions and check out. Just curious what your thoughts are on that, given what you're working on.
Yeah, I want to I mean, I also saw like some of your people, like Alia, or what her name was, like she's said something about it. Yeah, and she supported like some of the posts I made about the browser wallet and the multisig stuff, because I think it can really make your multi-sig escrow process, like this flow, a lot more, like the user experience of this will become a lot better. And I'm happy to work with you guys to integrate it into XMR Bazaar to make this flow very smooth so people can use it more easily. Because I think
Awesome.
actually this is like the future of finance, that people
Mhm.
do like escrow privately. Because I mean there's so many dark markets and whatnot that did like some exit scam bullshit. And I think if we can make this escrow experience really good, I think, like, I mean, think about the future. Like, this is going to be like the default to do escrow, because I mean, you need to, like, to have commerce, you need to build trust, you need to have some escrow thing, and maybe people will like start like these kind of escrow businesses where people because I mean, if you look at companies like Alibaba or Amazon or eBay, like it's basically an escrow business. And I think that if all of this becomes decoupled and happens on the blockchain, obviously you need privacy. So I think in the future, like this kind of UX and getting really nailing this, I think will be a very big unlock. And yeah, that's also like what I'm working on, and what drives my thinking around this, how to design this library, like to make these kind of multi-sig application, like these kind of escrow-esque user experiences, make them good, like this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Very excited. Thank you for taking the time today, man. Really appreciate it. I do hope we see you at MoneroTopia. That would be freaking amazing. If you want to do a talk or something, you can let me know. Be great to have you. We are already about an hour in. I do want to keep things moving. I see
Okay.
Offren jumped in back. No, please don't leave yet. Offren jumped backstage, so he might want to jump up later. But we will do price report and I guess news, and then we'll do viewers on stage, so I could bring Offren up at that time.
Yeah.
Spirobel, please, if you can stick around. No,
I mean,
you gotta go.
it's already, yeah. I mean, it's 30
Okay.
minutes after
Let's
12
just
o'clock.
round. I've kind of
I'm
asked.
starting to get sleepy.
Okay. I know I've asked you this question, I think, in various different ways, the same question, but if you can just round it out here, like what do you, because let's face it, right now, I don't know if you pull up Coin Market Cap or whatever it is, CoinGecko, Monero is sitting at a lower market cap than Zcash, right? According to you, we're still full, there should be no concerns on a technical level. Everything we're doing, Monero is certainly competing with Zcash and may even be better in ways. But what should the Monero community be focused on? And like, what do we need other than like this? What you're working on. Like, what do you see as the weak points or the points? Perhaps the low hanging fruit, things that we need to do to improve adoption, improve the protocol so adoption improves. What do we need to be focused on if we're just ignoring Zcash? We just want to grow Monero, improve Monero. What are kind of the top things that come to mind?
I think for me, like the only thing that puts Zcash right now above the Monero market cap is that their influencers were very good and very coordinated, and they really drove this narrative, and they bull posted every single hour. Like if you look at the big Zcash guys, they bull posted constantly. And I think we just need to do the same thing. Like the people just need to start posting all the time. Just post, I hate the CIA, like some shit like this. Like you need to start to become a bit more unhinged, because I think the modern media way, like also if you look at the Zcash posts, it's not like they're trying to convince anyone by trying to be like, oh, I'm this trustworthy guy. It's more like, okay, more like agitation propaganda, like they try to make you feel a certain way. And I think we could just do the same thing. We could just go out there and just post and be coordinated and just like push this kind of thing, because I think honestly, like right now, the only reason that their market cap is currently temporarily above us is because they managed to push this fake narrative, and there's all this fake excitement for this tachyon bullshit in the chart, and obviously at some point this will deflate. But
the other really big part of
just
their
as coordinated. We could
Yeah,
be
yeah,
just
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
like yeah, we could push just as hard as them.
Yeah. I mean, the other big part of their narrative right now is that Zuko was, part of the original cypherpunk crowd with Satoshi, and that they've been now, working on this magical solution since the beginning, and now everything's ready, and they are as cypherpunk as can be. That's another big part of their narrative right now, right?
Yeah,
That they're
I
that
think
they're
I
pushing
think
out.
that this is like the most absurd part because I mean, when once I started posting about the stuff with you know like he unfollowed me like because I had interactions before with Suko and they were positive. I was okay with the guy and he just suddenly unfollowed me and stopped responding. And I think if you're really cypherpunk, if you're a real cypherpunk, and somebody said, "Oh, Suko is such a cool guy. You're such a cool guy. And by the way, I accepted money from Incutel and I have this privacy 2.0 thing to say." If you're a real cypherpunk, you would say, "Fuck you. Like, fuck, get out of here." Like you would not try to be like indirect about this thing. And yeah, I think this narrative, like this whole picture that they paint of themselves is completely fake. And we just need to point this out. We just need to say, okay, if you're a real cypherpunk, speak out against the CIA and the corruption of the privacy space and the crypto space in general by these spooks. It's not that hard. It's
Hmm.
easy. Yeah.
All right, man. We can leave it at that. If there's anything else, anything else you want to make sure you get out.
No, I think I let it all out now. Yeah.
Great
Very,
job.
very
Great job,
relaxed
man.
now.
I know. I've been trying to get you up on stage for a while too, because I also wanted to get your take on the proof of stake, finality layer stuff when that
Yeah.
drama was going on.
Maybe
But
another time.
yeah, we don't need to get into that now. Thank you so much, Spirobel. Greatly appreciate you taking the time. And yeah, once again, hope to see you. Let me know if you are for sure going to be down there, and if you do want to speak or something, let me know, and we could make sure to officially make you a part of it.